Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Taheshah and Eric Chilton live from their houses as we practice social distancing. Of course, the 4 to 5 is an interactive newscast. We really want to connect with you in a time that can be pretty isolating. We are live streaming right now on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page. Let's get you caught up with some information at 4. There are now 636 cases of COVID-19 in North Carolina. That's according to the Department of Health and Human Services. They say there have been 13,000 tests completed in our state. Guilford County is now reporting 24 cases, and this morning Surry County Public Health confirmed the first case there. They say the person is isolated at home and doing well. Healthcare workers are the heroes of this outbreak, taking care of us and keeping people healthy. The NOVANT Health Foundation is now starting a new fund to support those providing medical care. All contributions to the fund will go toward testing and medication to support patient care, as well as medical supplies and team member support. The money will be used across the NOVANT Health system in 4 different states. If you're interested, you can donate online. And Congress is closer to passing a $2 trillion stimulus package to keep the economy afloat during COVID-19. Now, the Senate unanimously passed the package. It now needs the House's approval. Representatives will have 24 hours to look over that bill before it's expected to pass tomorrow morning. When that bill becomes law, the money will start flowing quickly. It includes small business grants, an increase in unemployment insurance, and $1,200 cash payments to individuals that could be deposited directly into your account in the next 3 weeks. Well, it's time for our email bag where we address your questions and your comments. And many of you have questions about this new stay-at-home order and what it means after our 3 major triad cities issued them yesterday. Let's answer some of your questions like, can I leave my house at all? Who is considered an essential worker? And when does this start and end? So the order starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock and it lasts until April 16th. The goal here is to stop the spread of the virus by limiting the number of people who are going out. But that does not mean you can't leave your home. You can still make essential trips like going to the grocery store, the pharmacy, and going to medical appointments. Restaurants are open and allowed to offer takeout and delivery. Everything that's essential to you will be available. That means any businesses will stay open and employees will go to work if their job is deemed essential. But let's break that down as well. Some of these are straightforward. Healthcare workers, law enforcement workers, public safety officer, transportation services, members of the media, and gas station workers. Then there are other places that will stay open. It may not be so obvious, like child care centers, manufacturing, distribution, and supply chain. Places like warehouses will be open. Trade jobs like plumbers, electricians, painters will work. Even businesses in the transportation field like car dealerships, repair shops, and bike shops. That list of places is much longer. You can find it in full on our website. But remember, the point of the order is to limit your time out as much as possible. Well, the coronavirus pandemic has changed the way life looks for most of us. But for healthcare professionals, it's only intensified their already hectic work days. I spoke to a triad nurse who's testing and treating patients. I wanted to know what she's seeing and how she's feeling.
We're all exhausted, but we're okay.
If the coronavirus outbreak is a war, doctors and nurses are the soldiers on the front lines. Savannah Hayes is battling the virus at one of NOVANT Health's screening centers in Winston-Salem.
So right now, I'm getting to the screening clinic early in the morning, usually around 7-ish, like most nurses. I'm here 5 or 6 days a week right now. I'm alternating back and forth.
This pandemic is unprecedented, something we've never dealt with before. But Hayes and her coworkers have trained for every possibility.
So this isn't entirely different from what we would normally do. This is just a little bit bigger of a storm.
Sure, their days have changed. From the uniform they're wearing,
we have masks, we have gowns, we have eye shields, we have everything that we need to protect ourselves from coming into contact with those droplets.
To how they're interacting with patients and each other.
I really, really miss hugging people because the social distancing has kind of kept us from doing that, especially in the screening clinic. And it just breaks our hearts because, you know, we're nurses and we're healthcare providers and we love people. That's why we're here. and it's really hard not being able to hug people.
But even during this fight, Taze is holding on to the reason she enlisted, and she's counting on you to keep her coworkers, and everyone else healthy and safe.
So right now we're here because we love our patients enough to care for them in uncertain times and times of fear. Right now, I would love for the general public to know that social distancing really does help us a lot. I know everyone is probably tired of hearing that term. We're tired of hearing that term, but it really does help when people try not to be in contact with each other and try not to, have gatherings or have any of that contact with each other. It makes our job easier.
And we thank everyone for what they're doing in the healthcare profession. So Hayes said it is weird for her to see the general public wearing protective gear like gloves and masks. And she wanted to remind you that if you are wearing gloves and you touch anything else, you transfer those germs and can potentially spread the virus. They might give you a false sense of security. She also says if we do what we're supposed to do, stay at home, wash our hands, avoid spreading those germs, we will make their fight easier. So Taheshah Moise is live at her apartment complex, staying at home, doing what she is supposed to do. Taheshah, what do you think about these healthcare workers?
It really just puts everything into perspective, Maddie, when you hear from someone who is on the front lines. I mean, I have many people in my family that work in assisted living facilities. They're doctors, they're nurses, and I'm worried for them every single day. I'm encouraged to hear that she has enough protective gear, but some of my family and friends, they don't. And that's why I really take this social distancing very seriously, because I know it's not only for my safety, but for their safety as well.
Absolutely, yes, we cannot thank them enough. And I actually posted this story on my Facebook page, and many of you wanted to show your appreciation for those healthcare workers. Mary McNeely Gann said, "Thank you for going the extra mile for us. Prayers for health and safety." Cami Harrison McKinney said, "Big kudos to my niece, who is a respiratory therapist, 7 months pregnant and still working." Donna Thomas Ballsinger said, "God bless them, praying for good health, strength, and peace." And Shane Graves said, "Thank you from one RN to another," and thank you, Shane, as well. All right, Taheshah, we're going to check back in with you in just a moment, but first I want you to take a look at this. NC State's engineering department donated medical supplies to healthcare providers at UNC Rex Wellness Center. They gave face shields, gloves, masks, and respirators to UNC. Now, personal protective equipment, as we just spoke about, is in short supply across the country, and the need and spirit to give is clearly greater than any rivalry for these two schools.
Many people in our community are relying on the kindness of others to support them through this pandemic. DAYSTAR Church in Greensboro gave out 10,000 meals yesterday to our neighbors. They opened up a drive-through grocery pickup last week to help people in need. The church partnered with Out of the Garden Project, and they are feeding people every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they'll also be feeding people on Saturday starting at 10:30. Now, because of the need that they have, they really do need your help. So here's how you can pitch in if possible. They're collecting food donations of all kinds. You can drop off non-perishable items at the church that's located at 1806 Merritt Drive. Restaurants can donate food that they're not using as well, and the church is available to pick those items up for you. And food distributors can donate as well. All you have to do is get in touch with Chris Worrell at CWorrell, that's CWOREL, at DAYSTAR.com if you want to make a donation. All right, I have a warning to share with you from the Kernersville Police Department. Many of you stuck at home, you may be scrolling on social media, and you may come across a post from one of your friends who have a list of questions that they've answered and they want you to do the same. Well, Kernersville Police is advising you to not answer those questions. They say hackers are setting it up as a get to know each other better game, but the questions will include things like, what's your favorite teacher's name, or what was your first car? Those questions sound familiar, right? Because they are the same types of questions used for security questions on your bank and credit card accounts. Police say it's not always a scam, but just think before you post.
All right, it is time to talk about a next couple of days, you know, you need to and get outdoors. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on with our weather graphics here, because temperatures are very, very mild over the next couple of days. I mean, you look at the current readings, we're seeing them in the upper 50s to lower 60s, depending on where you are. In Salem now, overall, temperatures over the next day or so are going to be very, very warm, way above normal. When you look at this, by the end of the week, we usually don't see that very often. And we'll have the complete 7-day for you coming up in just a little bit, with a decent couple of days in the short term.
And we'll also get those technical glitches fixed for you, Eric. Thank you so much. Hey, coming up next on the 4 to 5, restaurants and businesses, they're doing what they can to survive that executive order that closed their dining rooms. Eric Chilton actually went out to a Greensboro spot that's trying something new in light of the changing situation. In the meantime, tell us what your favorite takeout spot is, or your favorite special. Where are you getting takeout or delivery from during this lockdown? You can comment right now on our live stream. WFMY News 2 is on there for you.
Check, check, check. Hello, I'm talking. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Check, check. 1 2 1 2 3. Can you hear me at all? Perfect. It always works when it's over. Hold on. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. As you can see, we are all here today. I'm in the studio. Taheshah and Eric Chilton are broadcasting live from their respective homes, social distancing, not leaving our houses when we don't have to, but definitely want to bring you the news. But Eric, you actually got out a few minutes earlier today talking to restaurants who really need our business during this time.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. The local restaurants, I mean, it's obviously we all know they need our support now more than ever. I've been doing what I can to kind of focus on some local restaurants and food trucks, and some are getting really creative in their quest to try to stay afloat. A longtime Greensboro institution just started something brand new. Take a look.
Just that thing, if you want me to.
Yeah, if you've lived here any length of time, you know that sign. Cafe Pasta has been here for 36 years, but they're having to adapt just like all the restaurants are in the area. But they have a curbside special that's pretty cool. Our buddy Ray Issa, I'm going to do some social distancing here. Ray, tell us a little bit about the curbside specials, and then we'll talk about what you have here.
Yeah, the curbside specials, we're doing the full lunch and dinner menus, and we're also doing family packs, family meals, where it serves up to 5 to 8 people. Averages out about less than $5 a person.
Wow.
You can call and let us know what you want, and we'll make it up for you if it's not on the full menu. Along with here, today's special is the chicken piccata with the spinach and the shrimp scampi, and you can't stop unless you have my mom's famous Northern Italian cheesecake, which she's been cranking out for 36 years, helped me out. Along with, of course, a little bottle of wine.
And you've got you can bring it right to the car window.
Bring it right to the car. You just call us, let us know, we'll bring it right out to you. All right, thank you.
So if you're interested, Cafe Pasta is located at 305 State Street in Greensboro. Look for this story on WFMYnews2.com, and we've got all the info there. Maddie, that place is phenomenal if you've never eaten there.
Oh, I have. And Ray will make you anything you want. He's not afraid to go off the menu.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to point out. I'm glad you said that, is that some people go in there and say, you know, I'm feeling like a little pasta and a cream sauce. I don't know, what can you just make something? And they will do that. Yeah, they're that good. Let's give you some information here, because I asked you on Facebook your favorite takeout in the Triad. And a lot of people have some pretty strong opinions about this. We'll start out with Cindy. Cindy says Skids 2 of Burlington and Skids of Elon. She says good food and good people there. Tony Ann says the Cherry Pit Cafe, yummy. We know that place all too well on the 4 to 5. Jenna said Spring Garden Bakery and Coffee House. And by the way, I haven't been there, but we had about 3 people respond with the same answer there for that one. And Callie says only the best for her. That would be Rhodey's Tavern at New Garden and Battleground. So lots of varying opinions, but I have been to almost all of those, and I would say they're all good.
Yeah, and right here at dinner time. And really, we can help these local restaurants by ordering takeout. I went to Taco Mama last night. They're doing family style meals too, and you can just call when you get there. They'll bring it right out to your car.
You know, one thing to note too about that Cafe Pasta special, first of all, the curb is right there beside the front door, right? That's kind of cool. But it averages out to about $5 a person, and you'd be hard pressed to find that outside of fast food.
We're going back to the drive-in days, right?
That's right.
Drive up and put the food in the car. All right, Eric, thank you so much. Hey, keep chatting with us. We are live on WFMY News 2's Facebook page. We want to communicate with you, so make sure you drop us a comment, and we'll be checking those during the break. Oh, this might be my favorite part of this show. First, let's just take a big breath in, let it out. Times are a little bit stressful. News keeps changing. It's really working at a rapid pace, but that's why we at WFMY News 2 want to know what brings joy to you. WFMY News 2's Brian Bennett is live from home. Brian, what are some things that are bringing joy this afternoon?
A lot of things. Just for me, seeing my wife a little bit more and that pregnant belly brings a smile to my face. But it's not about me, guys. It's about you. So let's jump right into these comments to see what you guys had to say, okay? So Ramona says, I'm fortunate enough to have a place to live, food to eat, clothes on my back. I thank God every day for that. Moving on is Mabe. She says, I am fortunate enough to wake up with my 2 little healthy children and work from home, and we are all safe. This is my joy today. And lastly, Scott says, helping others and making other people smile makes me happy. I feel fulfilled when I make someone's day. Hashtag joy to you. And that is indeed the hashtag that you need to use, because we're going to be reading some more of your comments coming up a little later.
It's good to see your face today, Brian. It's good to see all of my coworkers. First time in the station in a couple of days, and I've missed you guys. So it's good to see you, even if it's through a screen. All right, thank you so much, Brian. I have another story that should bring joy to you. A Surrey County woman is spreading messages of hope through yard signs. Paige Williams runs Sign Gypsy. During the COVID-19 outbreak, she's been making sure that people stuck inside feel celebrated. From messages of hope to funny hygiene reminders like that one, she's decorated the lawns of hospitals and doctors' offices just to say thank you. She's honored birthdays during quarantine and even put a sign outside of a few nursing homes for residents to see from their windows while their visitors are limited. Williams says she feels privileged to be able to promote a positive message and offer some encouragement. And with so many people having to cancel their events right now, she feels that they need the joy that the yard greetings can bring. Taheshah, I love this story so much, especially seeing the nursing home residents looking out of their windows and seeing a sign that just says you're loved.
Yes, and we are in this together. I love the color there, and I love being able to spread a cheer, especially in this time. I think probably my favorite one of all those signs that just popped up was the wash yo hands, because we know that is what we all really need to be doing. I know there's such an emphasis, you know, the past couple weeks, but I hope when this is all over, we all have a newfound habit of just being more clean.
I think that's some good advice. Wash your hands. Just wash them. I love it. And also, maybe we have learned to really work together, because I love the sign that says we're all in this together. We really are. We are right there with you through this entire thing, and we want to start a conversation with you. We are streaming this show live on WFMY News 2's Facebook page. It is a two-way street here on the 4 to 5, so let us know what you're talking about this afternoon. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. I want you to take a look at this video. The Page High School women's soccer team isn't going to let this coronavirus stop them from getting in some practice kicks. They made a video of players juggling toilet paper around, and they made it seem like they're tossing it to one another. Now the video goes through all of the players and then finally ends with the coach. The team is using the hashtag #NiceTryCorona. It's a clever way to really just take a deep breath, maybe find some happiness, some distractions during this time. Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you see the forecast for the next couple of days, it is just picture perfect. Friday and Saturday look great. Probably two of the best weather days we've seen in a while. Let's start with the short term, though. I want to show you what's happening tonight and tomorrow. Overnight lows are very mild. When you think about us normally being in the low to mid 60s this time of the year, here we are at 54 for the overnight low tonight. That's not too bad. Just a few clouds. It'll be mild. There is an isolated chance of a shower in the northern parts of the viewing area tomorrow, but otherwise it's really just partly sunny, and we're approaching 80 degrees. That is way above normal for us this time of the year. Cloud cover across the area. It's hanging in there kind of heavy right now, but will that stay with us? Probably not very heavy over the next several days. And with next rain chance, really, it's only that little 20%. Look for highs to go in the low 80s on Saturday. We'll show you the 7-day a little bit later in the show.
Yes, hello, hello, hello. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. Yep. Uh-huh.
Good Thursday afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton and Taheshah Moise, who are broadcasting live from their homes this afternoon. We are practicing social distancing, not leaving the house unless we absolutely have to. So we're going to check in with both of those folks here in just a minute, but we want to remind you this is an interactive news show. It's not just us talking at you. We want you to talk back to us. So log on to our Facebook page, WFMY News 2, to join our conversation. Let's catch you up now on the headlines this afternoon. The coronavirus shuttered business and led to massive layoffs this week, and that's left workers filing for unemployment. Now, the Department of Labor says nearly 3.3 million people filed for initial unemployment benefits last week, and that's up from 3 million the week before. This shatters the previous record of 695,000 claims in 1982. And the surge claims is overwhelming many unemployment agencies. It usually takes 2 to 3 weeks for those claims to be processed and payments to be made. But with the massive spike in unemployment filings, there could be delays. President Donald Trump approved a major disaster declaration for North Carolina that makes federal emergency aid available to our state. Now, the money will help both state and local recovery efforts impacted by the coronavirus. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said the aid was good news for cities, towns, and counties that are incurring expenses as their public health providers, first responders, and emergency managers work to protect communities. Registering your child for kindergarten in Guilford County is going to look a bit different. Parents will now sign up their student online, and registration starts on April 1st. You'll need to upload pictures of some documents to prove your address and your child's legal information, like their birth certificate. Now, you can get a copy of that birth certificate at the Guilford County Register of Deeds. Right now, they're actually waiving credit card convenience fees. To register your upcoming kindergartner, go to gcsnc.schoolment.net. And Triad-based Krispy Kreme is doing their part to say thank you to healthcare workers. Starting on Monday, they are giving away a dozen donuts to healthcare providers every Monday, and this will run through May 11th. You can go through a Krispy Kreme drive-thru to show your badge, and you'll get a dozen original glazed donuts for you and your colleagues. Well, thousands of businesses across the state are closed due to the coronavirus outbreak. It's forced many business owners to get creative. So Taheshah is introducing us to a dance academy that switched up lessons.
Princess Johnson owns Royal Expression School of Dance, and she knew it was only a matter of time, so she started filming her classes to get her students ready for their recital.
Hey everybody! How y'all doing, babies? I missed you.
Princess Johnson can only teach her students by video these days.
Y'all ready to dance?
Royal Expression School of Dance closed because of coronavirus, but as the saying goes, the show must go on.
I just kind of jumped into fight mode.
Johnson and her teachers sprang into action after Governor Cooper issued a state of emergency March 10th and decided to film lessons to post online for their students just in case.
So we spent 6 whole days, top to bottom, from 10 a.m. to 10 at night, recording video footage of 2 months worth of dance, choreography, and dance fitness.
Brush forward, brush back, full out.
Their planning proved to be necessary now that non-essential businesses can no longer be open. Johnson says 100% of her students registered for online classes.
And that's just incredible. I'm just like amazed because I was just hoping to salvage as much of our families as we could and try to stay afloat as best as we could.
The students are now able to learn choreography for their upcoming recital from the comfort of their own homes.
So they know, like, at the end of this, there's still something that we're working towards. We're not just like, here's some online classes. Good luck, guys.
But they've also created extra movement videos to get everyone up and dancing.
The community could really use some dance, and not like, let's learn a 5, 6, 7, 8, but more like some expressive dance, a time to create and think.
Johnson says during this pandemic, releases like dance are needed more than ever.
And just remind people of how good it feels to move and express yourself and really let things out.
Now, Princess Johnson plans to release more of these movement videos. She has a couple posted on the Royal Expression School of Dance Facebook page. So she will be going live here in the next couple of days. So if you turn on those alerts, you'll be notified of when the next class is, because, in the middle of this pandemic, we don't want the quarantine 15, right? So we got to keep moving.
I'm not going to lie to you, Taheshah. When I'm working from home, you're sitting on your couch, you feel relaxed, you feel like you should just be at home, and it helps to get up and just move a little bit. So I had a little dance party today. Maybe threw on some 80s music and, got my Madonna on.
Yeah, that's really the hardest thing, because you guys know I love Nutella, and there's just a jar there in my cabinet, and I really have to just out of sight, out of mind, and just not think about the sweets and really focus on work to really get things under control.
Well, everybody is making adjustments, but it brings up the question, how long will this last? So Taheshah, I know that you asked some people that.
Yeah, I did ask people on my Facebook page because in light of President Trump, saying hopefully trying to get the economy straightened by Easter and, schools are out until May 15th. So I wanted to hear from you at home on your timeline based on the current trajectory of this virus. So let's go into some of your comments. Stanley Warren wrote here, Taheshah, this is uncharted territory. Easter is not realistic. June 1st at the earliest. Alice Griffin wrote, when the virus is under control. Michelle Grandi wrote, school will not return this year and it will be mid-June before we tentatively reach normality. Just my opinion based on observations of other countries and our pace. And Denise writes, I think May 1st at the earliest, and that depends on how the virus is contained. If people don't practice social distancing and stay home, there's no telling how long the virus will hang around. And finally, Marilyn writes here, probably need to forget about the balance of the school year and try to start fresh in August. Maybe by then we will have a real idea on how to control this virus. And trying to put a timeline on something like this when this really is unprecedented, it's for me personally, I have no idea. I would like to see things turn back around by Easter like the president is hoping as well. I just don't know if that's a possibility at this time if everyone is not really practicing those social distancing measures.
Right, like you, Taheshah, no one really knows when this will be over, but experts have said if we do stay at our homes, if we do listen to health officials and we stop the spread of those germs, it could be over quicker. All right, so I want you to think about this. A lot of people running out to the grocery store, right, to stock up on supplies. Well, truck drivers are now working overtime to get those products to your stores. Now the truck drivers are asking you to stop the stockpiling so they can catch up with the demand. While we are resting at our homes or maybe working from homes with our families, they're giving that time to make sure you have what you need. Now, the White House did lift hours of service restrictions on truck drivers so they could keep transporting those items. Both federal and local officials have said there is no need to stockpile. I'm going to read that line again. Officials say there is no need to stockpile because we are not at risk of running low on supplies.
And you know what? We're not at risk for anything forecast-wise except good weather for the next 2 or 3 days. The only mention of rain, there's a 20% on Friday and a 20% Sunday, and that's pretty low chances there. Great weather as we get warm too. Let's show you the satellite and radar combination. Over central North Carolina, some clouds are hanging in tough, but look, once those erode away, and by the way, that's happening as we speak, then we'll be left with clearer skies after that. One thing to note, the high pressure off the coast, it moves away, but we're still seeing the influence of that high. Winds are coming out of the south to southwest, and as that cold front approaches on the left side of your screen, that warms us up even more. So when you look at our long range forecast, how about hovering close to 80 degrees through your weekend? Monday 71 and dry, little rain Tuesday, Wednesday, but we're down to 56 and back up with mostly cloudy skies on Thursday to a high of 60.
You know what everyone is talking about, right? The stimulus checks. How much will we get? Well, most adults will get $1,200. Of course, it will be less if you make over $75,000 as a single person or $150,000 as a married couple. So, folks, I know that you are all kind of like making sure you know what's going on with this. In fact, Taheshah, I think that you brought up a specific question this morning that we talked about.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been asking about Social Security and disability. If you are on either of those, do I qualify for that? In fact, we've gotten multiple questions on our live stream just today.
Okay, well, this is really good because earlier this week, it really was not looking good for that. But I did just talk to an expert who says yes.
Folks that are on supplemental Social Security income and Social Security disability income are now going to be entitled to this stimulus payment. Prior to Wednesday, though, however, they were a lot of them were not going to be. So that is some good news, and they will receive the full amount that is being offered at this time.
Really great news for a whole lot of folks, but There is a catch.
There's always a catch, isn't there, Tanya? Stuff like this, it's never easy.
I know. The checks are tied to your last tax return, and if you don't usually have enough to claim and you don't file taxes, so folks in that situation would need to file their 2019 taxes this year anyway to get the check. Okay, so you get the check now. How are you going to spend it? And I'm asking each one of you. I asked people in a Twitter poll, if you get a stimulus check, what will you use it for? I was really kind of surprised. It was almost split between the bills and the saving. What do you think about that, Maddie?
Well, I think that's good. That's the point of these stimulus checks, right? For people to save them?
That's right. And so this is my Twitter poll, and here's the rent, mortgage, and bills, and then saving it is that way. But this was a different category here. It was something fun because I need it. What do you think about that, old Eric Chilton?
Well, if it's going to be some fun, the one thing I've been waiting for to do is to buy this huge inflatable movie screen for outdoor movies for the kids. That's what I want to do.
And you should, because you're going to have to stay at home for a little while. All right, friends. Hey, very quickly, we talked a lot about stay-at-home order, but folks at home, I know you still have questions. You can text them 379-5775. We've got a city leader in to answer them one-on-one at 5:30.
And this just into our newsroom. Forsyth County just issued a stay-at-home order that will start Friday at 5 o'clock. Now, Winston-Salem and Clemens, they already issued their own orders, but the county says this is a way to bring in any unincorporated parts of the county as well as any towns and villages. The order, of course, is meant to slow the spread of COVID-19 by closing any non-essential businesses and stopping any non-essential activities. We'll be right back.
Yes, can you hear me? Alrighty. Hey, Tosh. Hey, I'm gonna pick up where we stopped. I think we were on Joy. That's where I'm gonna start.
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Catch, thank you.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. So life looks a little bit different now, right? And that may be some anxiety producing activities, but we have so many things that can bring joy to you. We're going to check in with our digital guru, Brian Bennett, to see what's bringing people joy this afternoon.
Yeah, Maddie, we are back at it again, seeing what is bringing people joy. So let's dive right on in. We're going to pick up right where we left off with Joy. She says, I was able to get out of bed, shower without assistance, dress, and feed myself. Many are not that fortunate. And you are exactly right, Joy. Moving right along, Catherine says she's thankful, well, joyful rather, for online art classes. And a lot of people are finding more hobbies now, you know, in the midst of this pandemic. Catherine, I'm glad you found one that you could pick up. And lastly, Bill says, I'm thankful I'm still looking at the green grass instead of the roots. And yeah, green grass, I think we all like that, right? We're in the middle of the spring, so it doesn't get any better than that.
Brian, thank you. All right, we have to check in now with meteorologist Eric Chilton because where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's this way.
Here.
Eric, can you just stay in one place, please?
I'm sorry, my jumping around technology at its best. Yeah, I'm a little afraid to do the weather graphics. My computer was having a tough time with it a minute ago. Let's talk about the forecast for tonight. 54 degrees, that's very mild. Our winds are out of the southwest. Now, when we look at that and you say, well, why do I care about that? Because it brings in the warmer air. That's what happens. Tomorrow, partly sunny. There is a chance of an isolated late day shower, but it's probably along the North Carolina-Virginia line, more so than over the heart of the triad. But look at the highs. 79 on Friday. We'll be in the low 80s on Saturday. Think about that. Our normal high is 64, and we're almost 20 degrees above normal on your Saturday. Sunday's just as nice. Still a slight stray shower chance. Probably late day, but that's a 79-degree high. And then all good things come to an end as we cool down. Monday, 71. Tuesday, 61. Little rain Wednesday, mid-50s. And back to 60 by Thursday of next week.
Well, it is not all bad, even if it seems like it might be sometime. You might be getting to know things about your family that you didn't know before. I bet your furry friends are happy you're at home more. But what do you do when you've run out of things to do or talk about? Let's take a look at 100 things you could do at home.
When you think about having to stay indoors, don't think of it as a trap for boredom. Instead, look at the opportunity. There are a lot of things you can do while staying inside. You just have to get creative. Okay, you could learn how to juggle. You could read all those books that you've been meaning to read but haven't had the time to yet. Interest at Professor Poopy Pants' new invention. You could take a nap. Mama. You could learn a new language, or you could dance. Hello. Social distancing hasn't stopped Monica Caivano and those at Esquina Tango Austin.
Well, we can't just stand still, and people, you know, they want to keep moving. We can do this.
So they decided to offer their language and dance classes online.
Funny enough, we actually have we have a full schedule all week long. Monday through Sunday, we have classes right now online.
The classes are offered through Zoom or on Facebook, and you can learn beginner salsa or how to tango.
I'm happy that we can provide, you know, some of that endorphin that we need to release right now.
And she says this is all just part of their mission.
This doesn't really stop us, and actually, if anything, it give us more energy to do what we do because we can really make an impact on people.
So dance like no one's watching because, well, no one is watching. You can even call it social distancing.
All right, Taheshah Moise is at home. What are some things you're doing to pass the time?
All right, I got a book that I've been meaning to finish. I also have a Spanish-English dictionary because my Spanish classes were canceled because of the coronavirus, but I'm still doing my lessons at home. So those are my two big things that I do when I have free time. And of course, Hulu, Netflix, you know, all those.
Right. You know, I'm trying to draw the boundary because I work from home all day until I come into the studio to do the show. And then when I go back home, I feel like I'm supposed to keep working, right? I don't have that physical difference from being at the station and being at home. So maybe I need to learn a new language like you or read a book.
That's the
Well, coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock, coronavirus testing continues to ramp up across the country. But now some are worried about how long it's taking to find out their results. The average waiting period to get those results back next on WFMY News 2 at 5.
Yeah, hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Can you hear me?
Well, as the weeks pile up with no school, teachers are finding unique ways to keep that knowledge train running. Eric Chilton found one school with a unique way of getting things done. So, Eric, tell us what this is all about. A drive-through of sorts, right?
Yeah, this was so cool. It was really just a neat way for the teachers to get some materials to the kids they would have gotten in their classroom, but also to reconnect with them at the same time. Take a look at this. The teachers at Northern Guilford Elementary School, they lined up in the car riders pickup lane to hand out that new material to their kids, but these would have been distributed in class. Obviously, that's not happening these days. So this was a quick fix for them. Today, it was the first grade teacher's turn, and the kids were actually thrilled to see their teachers waving at them through car windows, even giving little air hugs, as we like to say. The teachers say this is as much about reconnecting as it is about getting the materials to the kids.
It means a lot to us because we didn't get to say goodbye to our children. We didn't know that they were not going to be there on Monday morning. And so just being able to see them and see their faces and to reassure them that we are still here, we still love them, and we miss them, that has been the highlight of today. Just seeing their faces. They are so excited.
It was so neat to see that firsthand. The school does plan to do the other grades until they get everybody with all the materials they need, but a great way to reconnect.
I love that. And I love how you mentioned the kids, they miss their teachers too. It's not just about learning, it's about that connection.
That's exactly right. My little first grader was the same way with her teacher. She's like, I miss her so much. So yeah, chance to reconnect.
I think I saw your little first grader in that story.
She was given an air hug.
Cutie.
That's right.
Cutie. Well, tell him I said hey. All right, Eric, thank you. Stick around. Coming up next is My 2 Cents with Eric Chilton. We'll see you after the break.
does hold many hats around these parts.
This is Maddie.
Hello, this is a mic check from home. We are Zooming today. Zoom. One.
Yes, so I definitely had to run upstairs and knock on my neighbor's door because they were
for her results. Johnson says she was initially told it would take.
It just sounds like they're stomping 24/7. They just don't know how to lightly pick up their feet. Oh, I was just listening to Taheshah in the
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together.
So today for my 2 cents, I want to talk about something good that has come out of all this. And I know that's even hard to say, right? We talk about the coronavirus and the pandemic and what it's doing to the economy and all that. It's all downer news and it's all true, but there's one thing I've been noticing recently that